And five, four, three, two. Welcome to another episode of the Cybertron City Podcast, New York City's premier Transformers fan cast, where we celebrate all eras of Transformers except Kiss players. My name's Paul, aka Brooklyn Bots, over on Instagram. As always, I'm joined by my regular co-host, Danny, aka Matrix_Mez23 over on Instagram. Danny, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Just had to run in, kind of rush in from some errands, but I'm back. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about some news. Excited to talk about some studio stuff, a bit more kind of upper tier than what we TF collectors really talk about, but something that needs to be talked about. And if nobody's gonna do it, then we better do it.
It's long overdue. I think that there needs
Yeah.
to be a big push, and it's not just for like regarding the movies. It's other stuff that we'll get into a little bit. But this is a long overdue basic rant against Paramount because at this time, we all have beaten to death, whether it's on this podcast, whether it's other forums or Transformers related spaces, about people's frustrations with the live action films and just the overall media presentation, at least in the more like animated series or film capacity for Transformers in general. But this is a long time coming. So this is going to be much more of an all-encompassing, as Danny said, high. I hesitate to use the term highbrow, but a much more like broad, all angles of attack kind of a podcast. Just
Yes.
there's a lot of things that need to be said, and a lot of things that have to be gotten off our chest. And I'm sure a lot of you listening right now feel very similar. As you can tell from the title of this podcast, something to that effect will be our frustrations with Paramount. Is it time for Hasbro to move on? Lorenzo bashing fest, whatever we're going to call, whatever exactly the title of this podcast is going to be. There are things that need to be gotten off our chests. I think that's fair to say.
No, 100%. But before we do that, we did miss a lot of news that came out. There was an overabundance of it, honestly. But I don't know. You want to talk about the listings on TF Prime? You want to talk about
Sure,
the
let's start there.
collaborative?
I think
What's the most interesting for you?
Well, the most interesting for me is always going to be like the creamy nougat center of the Transformers line for the year, which is going to be what Generations and Studio Series are. So Studio Series, those leaks have been out for a while. We kind of know what's coming. It's going to be a good mix of like Michael Bay's Transformers stuff. We're getting a couple of like concept art figures out there, a lot of representation from the War for Cybertron games, some package refreshes that we've all seen coming, like Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, Dark of the Moon Shockwave. Some redos for SS86, which we always know sell really well. But for this year's Generations line, Age of the Primes, we got a pretty much all but confirmation about what the commander is going to be, which big surprise. It's going to be G1 Silverbolt, pretty much confirming that by the end of the year, we'll have not only a functional Superion and a complete Superion at that, but we'll also have a complete, fully integrated, 100% put together Studio Series 86 Devastator as well. But I think
Mhm.
the thing that caught people off guard was the Titan for this year, which we can now pretty much all but confirm is going to be Star Convoy. I didn't see this coming. Did you?
No, I mean, Star Convoy is such a Optimus based character that I didn't see the reason why making him a Titan would kind of give us an incentive to like just keep funding a Titan class figure. I mean, I feel like Star Convoy could have been done as a commander class, and everybody would have just been happy. We've seen it work in the past with the Armada Optimus Prime, but I've seen a lot of kind of like distrust in this release. But I mean, for $200, basically asking price as of now, who knows if it's going to go up next year. I do understand the frustration with the fans.
To Steelman this whole case of Optimus Prime or basically an Optimus Prime upgrade being a Titan class figure, I think it goes back to just the idea of Titan class figures really since Scorponok not being like A-lister characters. Because we went from the Ark, which we all know the Ark is a big spaceship, but for the G1 purists out there who will like pound their fist on the desk and be like, no, this is not the G1 I remember, which, as we said in the podcast, as far as the G1 purists are concerned, guys, this brand is 40 years old. We need to move on between 1984 and 1987. I think that territory is well trodden, in my opinion. I think you'd agree with that as well. As many people
Yeah,
may be
as a
still
G1
listening,
purist,
people that I wouldn't call you a G1 purist.
I'm a G1 purist more than anything. I lean more
Really?
towards my G1, but I I mean, I like to say so. Like, I grew up with Cybertron, talked to death about it on the podcast. But G1 is definitely my bread and butter.
Yeah, it's fair, but it's also just like, can we like, are we just gonna do like Metroplex, Scorponok, Omega Supreme, rinse and repeat like every year?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
not.
I'm not about that, but I can see the other side of it being like, okay, as I was saying, we have the Arc, we had Cybertron Metroplex that I still see at my local GameStop, which is like,
Really?
okay, yeah, the one at Atlantic Terminal, it's still there, it's still
Oh,
unsold. Now,
I'm
granted,
never going there again.
I don't think I don't think it's the same one to be fair, but it's been there at least since July.
That's crazy. And
And
on full MSRP?
I haven't seen it up that close, but I'm guessing based on the website listings, it's still MSRP, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And Metroplex isn't a bad figure. I have pretty much every Titan class figure, and Metroplex isn't bad, but it does have a fairly like the alt mode's unconvincing, but so was the original. And if you're comparing that to the show model, it's like he basically is doing yoga with a giant, staff on his back that has a spinny drill part on it.
Yeah, you got to lean
But
in.
you do, but it looks fine. Like, I don't think it's the
Hmm.
worst alt mode that we've ever had for a Transformer, but I understand for like $200, it could have been a little bit better. Then we had
Hmm.
Nemesis, and the Nemesis, although I think she's great and she's one of my all-time favorite Titans, I see what a lot of people are saying in regards to like the corners that were cut with her, just not having the best articulation. Some places being a Titan class figure, not being quite as stable in some poses, unlike Omega, Scorponok, etc.
Hmm.
And then we had Tidal Wave, which, as an Armada fan, that like Armada is one of my bread and butters. I'm always happy to get any Armada character I can get. But I can understand, again, the G1 purists be like, this is my Transformers. Again, 40 years, you're going to have a lot of different opinions and such. But getting back to Star Convoy, the way that I could see this going on is similar to what they kind of did with Tidal Wave, where if they're going to make this giant transformer, there's going to be elements of him that kind of break off, or major parts of him that break off and become kind of their own thing. So if it was up to me, I would have like an Optimus Prime component that's either leader class or commander class in size, that's more
Hmm.
scalable with the rest of like your mainline figures. Like, I'm the idea of there being like this gigantic Optimus Prime that isn't able to separate at all. It's like, yes, it's fun. Yes, it's really stupid, but to like hardcore collectors are going to be buying a Titan class figure in the first place, unless you have kids that are like hella spoiled, they're probably not going to go for this. But at the same time, it's like a $200 Optimus Prime character. And if you're a parent that doesn't care, about scale, or, you know, Battlestar's Return of Convoy, like a lot of these hardcore fans do, it's just like, it's a $200 Optimus Prime. If you're gonna slam $200 on a Transformer and you're not a hardcore Transformers fan, you may as well have Optimus Prime, and you may as well have like all the bells and whistles with it too. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping there's a commander size Optimus Prime that comes through with it. Maybe an even like bigger all original super mode that everything can combine into, and then maybe like a true bona fide base mode instead of just like this. Oh, it's a transformer on its back with its hands and legs in the weird positions, and there's like a turret, wink, wink, and there's a little landing bay, wink, wink. There's another like
Star
control
Saver.
tower. Yeah, no, no, not at all.
Especially after like everybody's been kind of base moded out. We got base modes for like how long? 2, 3 years consistently with Earthrise and the Titans. Now with Tidal Wave, I feel like everybody's kind of like moved past it. I'm probably, if I get him, it's literally just because it's a big Optimus Prime figure, but I'm not gonna be paying $200 for him though.
We'll see. I mean, I'm happy to pay $200 for the figure that looks great, just because it
Yeah.
would be Star Convoy, and I think anything at this point would be an improvement on the Power of the Primes figure, or the Power of the Primes retool,
Mm-hmm.
which, again,
It was a good figure.
visually it's okay, but like in hand, I hate that figure so much. it's it honestly might be a bottom 5 Optimus Prime in recent memory for me, just because it feels so cheap.
I still have that original Power of the Primes Optimus. I remember seeing that and it was like, oh my god, this is the best Optimus we've ever gotten. He's so big, I love him. And it's like he's outdated.
He was even outdated by the time Siege came around, like a year later. I got like the
Yeah,
Siege Voyager Prime, and I'm like, oh, this is just so much better.
and it's like great. Now all my Autobots are smaller than him. Now I have to like kind of put it to the side.
Don't you love that? Don't you love that fan dedication?
Don't you love when they just switch it up on you and you just have to blow another grand on brand new Autobots?
Yeah. As we were also alluding to, there were a couple of new collaborative releases. Do you want to tease those, Danny?
Oh yeah, we had the Naruto collab and who? Oh, and the one that Paul is so up in arms against is the what is it, the Monster Hunter Optimus Prime figure?
Oh yeah. This is your domain. Take it away.
I don't know, the Monster Hunter Optimus Prime figure looks pretty sick. I like the mold. I noticed the Air Razor mold that's been used to death. You know, it was used for that original Kingdom Air Razor, then was used for the Beast Wars again, which was the better repaint of that figure. And then Rise of the Beast came out. I had that figure for a little bit, and I immediately returned it. I was like, I hate this. I hate how it felt. And I think the filch is what really did it for you, that made you love that mold. But at the asking price of what, $50-$60 for what is essentially a retooled deluxe figure, I don't see a lot of people kind of falling for this Monster Hunter Optimus. He doesn't like scratch an itch that was there. Like nobody really asked for this, but that's really how most of them are with the collaborative line. I'm not. I'm probably not gonna get it. I thought it was gonna be maybe like 30-$40. I was like, I'll pay Voyager price for that, for all that tooling, but I'm not a big fan of it. And as for the Naruto collab, it seems to be a Beast Wars either Tigatron or Cheetor retool. I I'm interested in the little frog guy he comes with, because he's gonna be, obviously he's a pre-tool of hopefully what a lot of fans would think is gonna be Spitter or Spitor. I don't know how people pronounce it, but from what, Beast Wars Neo, Beast Wars Second, I forget which one it is.
I'm the only reason I'd be familiar with that character because I think the Spidor mold was eventually used for who was it? RID Slapper from Transformers RID 2001. So if that's how we get him, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna wait for that for that guy to
yeah,
come out.
same. I'm actually eyeing a vintage set of the RID 2001 Predacons. So it would be Gasgunk, Slapper, and Darkscream. So speaking of that, that was a good little segue for that. But getting back to the collaboratives, the Naruto one looks okay. And if this had come out like around 2006, 2007, when Naruto was like first coming into the US and it had like the
Hmm.
popularity that Pokemon had in like the late 90s, I think you would have gotten a lot more away with that. But in 2024, I'm like, Naruto's coming to an end. Naruto Shippuden's coming to an end. Isn't there like a sequel series or whatever with Naruto? I'm not as like anime familiar, to be honest. But case in point being, it's gonna have its audience. Knowing it's a collaborative figure, it's gonna be like a deluxe and a core class, and it's gonna go for like $60. And there's gonna be people that actually buy it at MSRP. More power
Hmm.
to you. Not my thing. Regarding Monster Hunter, as Danny alluded to, I think this thing looks like trash, especially in robot mode. Like it looks it looks like one of those construct bots from like 10 years ago that was
Oh,
released
I
in
know
the
what
Age
you
of
mean.
Extinction line. And I'm like, that head, does every collaborative have to be like some Optimus, or not every collaborative, but like 50% of them have to be like some Optimus Prime adjacent looking piece of shit? It
Optimus
looks
sells, man.
terrible.
Optimus sells.
It does, but it doesn't even look remotely like Optimus. It's like, okay, let's take like this weird dragon air razor mesh thing together and just plop a construct bots Optimus head on him. That'll do it, and charge like $75 for it.
I
It's
don't know. Like
just
I like the individual. Well, actually, no. I'm looking at the bottom one, but the dragon mode looks sick. But at their asking price, I'm not getting this.
I would have more enthusiasm about it if I knew what Monster Hunter was, but I'm just like, I don't know, that
Yeah,
might be
it's out of
just
my
me. At
yeah,
31
it's out
years
of
old,
my
I think
knowledge.
I'm a little out of that demographic, I think, but who knows?
Maybe like if
Uh,
this would have came out in like 2016, 2017, I would have used them as like an Onyx Prime. But with the Age of the Primes line coming up, there's no point.
we have an Onyx Prime, an official one coming out. Who
I'm
knows?
so excited for
It might be a leader class Beast Wars Air Razor, and then like Daniel would be like, you know what? I'm gonna
that.
buy
A Titan
20 of
class,
it.
a Titan
Titan
class air razor roll. No, but there apparently Walmart's also going to be doing a retro inspired re-release of the Gears and the Netflix Bumblebee, but with more toy deco accurate paint on it, as well as a different head for both Bumblebee and Gears. And
So I'm
I'm it seems like Walmart just loves Gears because they re-release him in G1 on G1 card on the deluxes, and I see him all the time in Walmart. They can't let go of Gears.
Did Gears get a G1 figure reissue?
Yeah, they got him like in 2018, 2019, then again in like 2021 and 2022.
Huh. I being in New York City, I don't have access to like a car to go to a Walmart. And like the buses to go to Valley Stream are just so inconvenient for where I
It's
am.
gonna be
But
like
anyway,
4 hours, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, I'm a little confused about this. So I thought the Retro G1 line was just a series of G1 reissues, and even though Gears looks cool, of those two, I would more likely to get Gears because I think, in my opinion, Gears is one of the best figures of the year. It's definitely going to be in my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little bit more partial to the toy accurate head than the tune accurate one. Just I think it works better for the design overall. But the Bumblebee one I don't get. I'm like, we have a Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, and that's
Mm-hmm.
more accurate to the Penny Racer version anyway from the toy. And if it's going to be a toy accurate one, why are we getting Bumblebee with the face instead of the battle mask? Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
that I don't. Yeah, if you're already gonna invest into new tooling for Gears, why not just bust out the battle mask for B?
And do the SS86 mold, not the parts forming cliff jumper thing. I thought we were past that, but whatever.
Yeah, I saw this and I was like, wait, why are we going back? Like we have a perfect one now.
We do indeed. I mean, there's little nitpicky things I have with it, but that's mostly in regards to like having painted black windows instead of the painted blue like the cartoon. But I would have been perfectly fine. Just hey, slap a battle mask on Bumblebee. I would get another go around, but Bumblebee is probably going to be passed. I'll probably pass Gears too unless I find it on sale. But there's other Walmart exclusive things that I think we have to point out a little bit. There was the retro G1 of Sea Spray. Supposedly it's going to be a
Yeah,
new mold, and then also a retro G1 Brawn. And I think if we're going to get a retool, fingers crossed, it'll be a battle mask of Brawn. But the way that Bumblebee went around, that's not a guarantee.
and giving like we're retreading what we did back then with the B. We're gonna be giving Walmart an exclusive core character, and then he's gonna be impossible to find. Hopefully not. Hopefully they figured out their distribution issues with gear. I mean, with Sea Spray by the time he comes out. But we'll only need Wind Charger and Power Glide after that, I believe, right?
Power Glide, Wind Charger, Outback, which would just be
Oh,
a
that's right.
Brawn
Outback.
retool and
Yeah,
repaint. But that's I'm surprised we haven't had a Outback yet. I feel like that's a very easy retool and redeco. But we're getting like
yeah.
animated
Just
Wasp beforehand. I'm
swap
like,
them.
interesting. Very, very
I'll pick up the
interesting.
Wasp. I'll pick up the Wasp. I didn't pick up the animated B just because I didn't feel the point of starting another like kind of subline. But I'll pick up the Wasp and I'll just be like, oh, he's from Velocitron. These are his Velocitron days or something.
Yeah. I'm okay with like picking up more animated figures. I don't know if I'll get the Wasp one quite yet. Like
Mhm.
I feel when it comes to a lot of like these repaints of existing figures that could still be put into another continuity, I'll be okay with getting it on clearance. It's the same way I feel about this Legacy United G1 Universe Optimus Prime. It's like it's a cool looking figure, I'm not gonna lie,
Uh,
but oh you're already groaning on that one, are you?
yeah, it's so good. It's just cute. It's just a cute little G1 Optimus Prime for $20. There's
Yeah,
people who spent like 150 on the missing link one.
it was actually 120. But
Well, plus
regardless,
taxes, shipping.
it's like I'm perfectly happy with my missing link CO1, the one with the trailer, because I don't have a G1 Prime
Mm,
otherwise. And this is my
mm.
first experience with the mold, and I just wanted to have it because it's a posable like full play set version of the G1 figure. Um, Beyond that, would I get a missing link Megatron? Hell yeah. But with that, getting back to the deluxe one, I'm like, I already have this and I have the better version of it anyway. So why do I need this? And I'm looking at some of the Age of the Prime stuff. I'm like, G2 Grimlock, don't need it. The Fallen, absolutely need it. I might buy like 3 of it. Onyx Prime, sure. Insecticon Venom, we'll see. We'll see. But that's another thing I'm just happy about. We're getting a lot more like package refreshes. We're getting so much more stuff where I'm like, thank you, Hasbro, for not only giving older or newer fans a chance to catch up, but giving older fans a little bit of a break. That's always,
especially during those COVID years.
Especially so. We're still playing catch up from COVID, which is wild.
Ramjet, bro. I'm waiting for Ramjet.
Dude, it'll be 5 years next March since COVID. That's just wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild. Another lifetime ago. As far as pickups, I know you usually spring that off, but did you have anything new this week?
Yes. I want to hear yours first. Only because I'm a little excited about mine.
Okay, well, I'm a little excited about yours. I asked first.
Oh, okay. I guess
Come on,
street
young
rules. All right. So for pickups, we got like how I really don't tend to pick up a lot, but I kind of like splurge a little bit on myself. Said what, I deserve it. But I think the first one I got was my TF1 Optimus Prime, and
nice.
I haven't been really able to pull it, like, kind of put him down. He's as a deluxe figure for Optimus. I know we've had some like misses in the past, like Dark of the Moon and Transformers Prime, but Transformers One Optimus Prime has everything you can really want. He has your Energon axe, he has the Matrix integrated in him, and what I've been finding myself doing is I kind of like strip him of everything, like the smokestacks, the Matrix, the axe, like his kind of like belt, his armored belt. I kind of strip that off too, and I kind of make my own Orion packs. I use that as my Orion pack.
Note to the audience: Danny takes great pleasure in taking off Orion Pax's pants.
Orion packs his armor.
The
robot's armor, buddy. All right, but
listen, guys, this is not a Kiss Players friendly space. We might, if you guys are interested in being the new co-host, just hit me up on Instagram.
Just remember who has a Kiss Players figure on their shelf currently right now.
That is Danny. That is the dressed naked Optimus Prime or Orion Pax.
Didn't you have a Kiss Players poster the other day? You were telling me about it. I think you had a Kiss Players poster.
Yeah, that was the fan art that you sent me. It was the lithograph that you got from
Is that the one that you paid for?
No,
you zelled me. You zelled me like I think $200 for it. You said I need to have it. I don't know.
That was the one. That
it was really weird. It kind of. Oh, I got a spare copy. Yeah.
That was artist
because you wanted a spare.
No, you just happened to be in Artist Alley at the time.
Oh, see, that's a lie because everybody knows I'm going to the shows for toys. Nobody's gonna believe you now. You just fell apart. Artist Alley, bro. I don't even go down there sometimes.
Liar.
But
liar.
Yeah, TF1 Optimus Prime makes me excited for the Megatron and the Sentinel Prime. I think that's where I'm gonna stop myself. I'm not gonna get the Bumblebee or the Alita. No, I gotta have a Megatron to go with him.
I agree. My Megatron should be scheduled to be delivered this week, unless Amazon screws up, which would not be unheard of because I've had now 2 non-Transformers items delayed from Amazon. One of them is actually important.
What is it? Tease. Let's give us a tease.
Oh, it's like medical stuff. It's stuff I can't really talk
about. Oh, boring stuff. Oh my god, boring.
But the other one is actually a video game. It's the new Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero.
Oh yeah, I heard that came out. A lot of my friends were getting hype about it at work.
I got my pre-order bonus, all right, but like the physical game, it's like nope, denied. Supply chain issues.
And didn't it release at like 6 p.m. the other day?
Something like that. My brother has it on digital, but I like having the physical game just because you never know what Sony will. You never know what any of these companies will pull with digital shit.
They're gonna follow Cybertron it.
I might torrent. Who knows? Jailbreak my PS5.
Yeah. So I got my TF1 Prime. I got my 86B because my G1 shelf was looking really empty without my Netflix B. It's been like 4 or 5 months without a Bumblebee, and I got him back. I haven't put him on the shelf yet. I haven't been really home to kind of mess around with them. And this week I picked up a sideburn on clearance because I was like, why not? I was like, I'm gonna be getting the RID Optimus Prime anyway soon whenever they ship him out. So I was like, I might as well have some RID characters to go with him, or for now, just put him on my Velocitron shelf as I do every other figure. That's really been it. Just those three figures, three deluxes. I've seen some good stuff, but I'm also kind of waiting for TFCon. I'm not trying to blow my budget yet.
Nice.
But
I unfortunately won't be going to TFCon this year. I have a concert to go to that same day. But
fake fan.
Yeah, I know. Not real. Well,
Yeah.
again, you heard me trash on G1
New
Purist earlier
co-host
today.
Yeah, we lost half our demographic already. Like we're
We
done.
lost 75% of it. I can just imagine all the G1ers going, Paul's not a real Transformers fan. He's just shitting on the Sunbow cartoon. I can just hear that already. And
I lost
y'all,
the Transformers Prime.
You did. You see what we're doing? Some of the most hardcore ardent Transformers fans. This is what we do on the podcast. We are New Yorkers. We like to talk trash. We love y'all, but we keep it real. Like sometimes even
New
like the
Yorkers don't give a
most.
fuck.
I know we don't. Sometimes we get the tough boroughs too. It's Staten Island and Brooklyn. This is not some like pansy ass Long Island City crowd.
Nah, they're all rich old people in Long Island City.
I love rich old people everywhere in New York. But yeah, those are some good pickups. If Amazon is going to be any indication, I'll be getting my Megatron this week. So I'm looking forward to that. I like the way that he looks in a lot of these promotional videos. And I just watched a review yesterday with Sixo, the guy over across the pond in the UK. And yeah, I really like the way that Optimus Prime, SS112, and SS114 looked next to each other. And I'm okay with it. Are they going to be my definitive Optimus Prime and Megatron for like all time and all eternity? No. Like you, it's going to be Optimus, Megatron, and Sentinel from TF1, and that's really going to be it. But with those three figures, I think that's really all you need, because otherwise it's like at that point, it's like the designs are so similar to the G1 cartoon. It's like I already have the SS86 or War for Cybertron or Legacy or whatever, Generations mainline figures from that already. Do I really need to dip my hand in that territory again? And no, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, unless they kind of come out with the rest of like the cogless bots, they come out with like an Ironhide, a Sideswipe, a Sunstreaker, then I'll be more inclined to go back for Elite NB. But I'm definitely not. I'm not really too excited for either one, even though they look really good, especially the Alita.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Megatron's kind of been turning me off because I feel like his chest is just too small in all the pictures I've seen.
Yeah. There's that. Apparently, he's a little bit taller than Optimus, and I just like my Megatron to be built like a gladiator instead of just feeling a little smaller than Optimus. But we'll see. Maybe in hand it'll be a bit different.
Well, you didn't get any pickups this week, right?
I did. One actually arrived yesterday. I got my Hasbro Pulse Con exclusive, the Dino King gift set arrived yesterday.
Oh, I thought you weren't going to go for it.
For Dino King?
Yeah, I thought you told me that you were going to wait because you were like $80 is a lot.
No, that was you.
I think it was me, but I think I was also you too.
Listen, it snuck up on me early, and I have to say it is a little pricey, but I do like it. I like it a lot more than Volcanicus. It like fixes all the key issues I had with the Volcanicus combiner, which were largely posability. So with this one, he actually comes with feet. It's not just like, rest the bottom of the folded up robots and have nothing. So he does have feet. He does have ankle rockers. And his hands now actually have wrists on them. And it's not just forward and back. It's like side to side too. So posability absolutely came through. And the new weapons are cool too. So he has like a full-on gun that's accurate to Transformers Victory. And he has this giant, I'm not sure if it's accurate or not, but it looks really cool. It's that giant like Warhammer War Axe thing. It looks really good. I think the remolding is enough to justify buying this if you didn't buy Volcanicus already. I used to have Volcanicus. I sold it, pretty much got all my money back on it. And yeah, this is the figure that it was meant to be from the beginning, but I still don't understand how they couldn't have sold this at retail because, it's transforming dinosaurs that combine into a giant transformer, which to me just seems like this is every 8-year-old boy's dream. But for some reason, it's like, no, because these characters have weird names and we can't give them English names, it's going to be an online exclusive. But the point is, it is a tad expensive for like a 6-piece Legends combiner, but I think the upgrades, they're, I'm not sure if it's $80 worth it, but like 65, 70, yeah, definitely so.
No, I mean, I'll definitely pick one up soon. I don't know when, but he's not at the top of my list yet. And I hope he's still up by the time I decide to pull the trigger.
Yeah, he's quite nifty. I like him right now. I'm actually fiddling with him on the desk as we have this podcast.
I got my sideburn right here looking at me. I'm fiddling with my sideburn here. But they should have given them like a proper combiner. Maybe don't like Legacy Menace or Dino King, but they should have given us like a deluxe, like deluxe increments and like a. You can want to do Voyager, okay, I get it for the main torso parts, but maybe like a deluxe team of those guys would have been fun.
I will say when he's all combined with the extras, he's almost leader class in height. So he's not this like gigantic thing like Menasor, like you were saying, but he's more than you would think for a all core class combiner, which is surprising to me. So like I have him right here also with Legacy Armada Megatron, and he's just a hair shorter than eye level with him. So he's more than I thought he was going to. Plus in the cartoon in Victory anyway, the I forget exactly what they're called. It's not the Dinobots. I think it's something else.
Is it no, it's not the Destrons, is it?
Dino Force. Dino Force, that's what it's called. Okay. Yeah, the Dino Force, they're slightly smaller Decepticons anyway. So I'm okay with it. Yeah, I would prefer like a bigger, more like, rugged, proper combiner for them anyway. But if this is what we're gonna get, which is likely what we're gonna get for a while, I'll put up with it. It's like I said, the upgrades make the figure a little bit more substantial. On that note, should we pivot to the main grievance at hand?
Yep. Yeah, let's go for it.
Oh boy. Where do we even start? I'll just say this. No matter what side of the issue of was there a reboot, was there no reboot, I think we can all take an objective look and say that Paramount has failed the Transformers franchise. And for me, what was the real big stake in the beast of this whole thing, driving a stake into the heart of it all, was the way they handled Transformers 1. But between not only flubbing horribly Age of Extinction in the last night, they flubbed just promoting Bumblebee really as like this, if it is going to be a reboot or a reset, they didn't really plug it as hard as they probably could have, of at the very least doing a soft reset and a tonal shift in the franchise. They didn't do that good with Rise of the Beasts. They failed with Transformers 1, and they also failed with Earthspark. So it's just such a prevalent problem right now that whenever I talk about Transformers, like to my like non-nerd related or nerd friends that don't really care for Transformers all that much, or just know tangentially about it because of the original cartoon and the movies,
or because of us,
they're just like, well, why do you care about this? And I'm like, well, number one, it's robots, so that's cool, and number two, it's like, as I've said before on other episodes of this podcast,
number two, I have a problem.
That too. But it's like, what media keeps me coming back to Transformers? It's the comics lately. Like, yes, IDW 2.0 had its issues, but IDW 1 won Eisner Awards. The new Energon universe with Skybound and Image, that's also winning Eisner Awards. So that's where the good stuff is. But movies have been anywhere from just like okay to unwatchable to awesome, but poorly marketed. Earthspark was very, as I said before, divisive amongst a lot of fans, if not only for, I'll just come out and say it, like representation with regards to Nightshade, just also a heavy focus on too many new elements, too much of a focus on human characters. And I don't know. To me, Paramount just seems like we desperately want a franchise to make to make an extended universe off of, but we have no clue how to do it. We have no clue how to build this from the foundation. and they just want to make money. I'm so incredibly frustrated with it, and I feel at this point just we're lost. And I don't really know how we get out of it aside from just kicking Paramount to the curb. I don't know what your thoughts were.
It's really all about the marketing for me, because I mean they kind of went. I feel like they tried a bit more with Rise of the Beasts, but you know, I mean, especially with like the statues touring them literally everywhere. You know, in New York. I don't know if you want to go see them, but I did, and there was like a lot of people there taking pictures, people with their shirts on and everything.
Hell yeah, I
But
did.
so it's kind of like you're marketing a movie that you like. I mean, Paramount know like that right off the bat. You don't know if it's gonna be a reboot or a soft reboot or a prequel, so you kind of don't know how to market it, and giving up like kind of like with the reception with Rise of the Beast that we kind of just made our money back. I feel like they kind of gave up with the marketing for TF1, and like even the first trailer with how it was being depicted, everybody really thought, me included, you especially, thought it was going to be like a DreamWorks type of Illumination Despicable Me movie, and it lost. I mean, it almost lost you, but I'm pretty sure the casuals were like, I'm not watching this. This is too much of a kids movie. Bumblebee's annoying, and they, like you said, they really just flubbed and let down TF1. I mean, I've watched it already 3 times, and I'm inclined to watch it a couple more times. But it's like we spoke about it last time, but we need more and more people to watch this movie.
To be fair
They
to
they
Paramount on that regard,
mm,
since we last talked, it has now opened up in Germany, Norway, um, the United Kingdom, and there was one more place, France. So, like the places that it wasn't streaming in already, these are not small markets. We're talking like the number five, number three, number seven largest economies in the world. So, there's definitely going to be an international box office bump. But you like you were saying, when I first saw this film, like my reaction was like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is such a stylistic departure from what we're just getting now in supposedly a rebooted live action film series. So I thought they were going to take like the designs we saw on Cybertron in Bumblebee and like the same aesthetic we saw in Rise of the Beast and have some sense of continuity. And now I'm like, we have 3 different universes within 10 years being addressed in Transformers in live action, even before like the multiverse fad got any kind of traction. So
mhm.
it's just, was I pleasantly surprised with TF1? Very. I'm happy. I'm very happy I was wrong. But I've only seen it once. I'm going to be buying it definitely on home movie, but it's not really up to me other than like using this platform in however many people listen to this podcast by saying, yes, go see Transformers 1. But even among hardcore fans, I know you really like the film. I'm really happy you like the film. But like to expect multiple people in this economy to be seeing a film multiple times just to make up for the failures of a studio to do basic marketing or understand how to like properly present this, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like Paramount just doesn't know what it's doing. It's throwing a whole bunch of stuff against the wall, hoping it sticks, changing direction every time, there isn't some little morsel of success in the way that they want it to be with like Marvel or DC or any other like long-term established cinematic universe. And they don't know what they're doing. And there's a lot of things to be said about like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the way that a lot of its movies have gone post Endgame, the oversaturation of content. But there's still a larger world being built there. And whether you watch everything or not, or whether you're super hardcore or not, there's a sense of continuity at this point. Even with like all the different various Marvel elements and Marvel movies over the years that may or may not be tied to the MCU, you can at least all chalk it up to being a multiverse. Versus with Transformers, it just seems like, especially since the last night, it's a bunch of like good starts and false starts that aren't really gaining traction.
We need one person calling the shots in Paramount, and somebody who knows what they're saying. I know this is like a sentiment a lot of us share, but with Lorenzo at the top, it's kind of like, what are you doing at this point? Like, stop
I
trying
don't.
to gaslight everybody that this is the same continuity. I think you tried to do it with TF1 too.
I'm the biggest "there's one universe in the live action movies" kind of guy, but TF1, like this can't be the same Optimus that's in Transformers One versus the one that cameoed in Bumblebee versus the one that had the giant, orange blades in the Michael Bay films. This isn't the same character. This
Mm.
just isn't. The universe feels way too different. The style is way too different. The storytelling angle is way too different. The tone is way too different. It's just you're right. Like we need a Kevin Feige in our corner, and Lorenzo from the beginning. It's clear he doesn't really get what the brand is. You could have made a case for that in Transformers 2007. Transformers 2007, as I've said in the podcast before, is still held up. It's a great Transformers film. And it was a good pop culture moment. It definitely got you back into the brand in a big way. It got me back into the brand in a big way. And there's a lot of great moments in that film. Like you would have Blackout transforming, Optimus Prime transforming for the first time, the Barricade and Bumblebee chase, Bumblebee, peeing on Agent Simmons' head was very good. Even the human characters, like are Sam and Michaela like Oscar-winning portrayals of characters? No, but like you felt that there was some there, and you could actually get invested with the human characters to a bit. Versus with like Cade Yeager, like first of all, what a ridiculous name for a human. Like what? Cade Yeager? Like what?
He was too action movie star, other than contrasting the high school,
Yeah,
younger demographic that they were trying to connect with before.
it was like Dominic from Fast and Furious, but less black and more hair. Versus
um,
Carly was a good, or not Carly, what's her name? Charlie from Bumblebee was a good reset. And I think of the film characters, she's probably the best human protagonist. If I'm like taking my nostalgia glasses off with Shia LaBeouf,
mhm.
Noah, like other than the fact that his brother had like leukemia or sickle cell, whichever blood disease it was, and like saying Brooklyn baby every 30 seconds, what was there really to his personality?
See, like as a native Brooklyner, do you say Brooklyn baby every 30 seconds too?
Well, I'm not a native Brooklyner.
Oh well, as a Brooklyn living person, do you say Brooklyn baby every 30 seconds?
No, I'm just like, thank God I have a good rent.
Oh,
I
you
say
don't
that
do
about every
that?
30 seconds.
Oh, they lied about that. I thought everybody from Brooklyn said that.
I mean, does Staten Island have their own pride thing? I know you guys have a hella apocalyptic
Mm,
borough over there, so I'm not sure if there's any pride to have in it,
no, we hate each other. We all hate each other.
as I'd expect.
But yeah, Noah was probably, I don't know. I think I like Noah a bit more because he actually did like he was part of the final battle and his little exosuit. So it wasn't like a second story where like, oh, I got to save my girlfriend from the bad guy, and like I don't care about this. I want to see the robots. So him and then maybe Charlie's either on equal footing or maybe like a step below him. I don't know, but Sam, 100%. I mean, probably the best out of maybe not the best, but like top three. He's in that. But Cade Yeager kind of just lost me, especially in Age of Extinction. Last night I was like, okay, he's on the run. Like he's a bit more interesting. He's a bit more rugged. And then I was like, oh, the movie's garbage. Great.
Yeah. Even with like, even with the Transformers television series, apparently Cyberworld might be a sequel to Earthspark. But even as a Transformers fan, up until already 2015, I at least gave the TV series a chance. Then already 2015 happened. That was more of a Hasbro Cartoon Network thing. Then Cyberverse came along. That was more of a Netflix thing. Then Paramount really got involved with Earthspark. And I'm just like, we at least got the animation quality back up, but I don't really feel any heart in this from like a fan's point of view, which is fair. Like again, Transformers is a franchise made for children, so the demographic appeal should be towards kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah,
just
we're
even
already in there.
felt
You don't got to get us.
But that's the thing. Like, I just don't. I wanted to like Earthspark so much, and even with like some of the controversies around Nightshade, personally, I don't really care either way. But I'm like, as a character, what else do you have going for you other than like LGBT representation and reminding us like you're non-binary like every 3 minutes?
Yeah, other than the Tarantulas episode, he really didn't. Oh shit, they didn't really do anything. Almost got canceled there.
Talk
Oh my
about
god,
being really
I'm done.
canceled.
I'm done. I'm done. But yeah. Other than that Tarantulas episode, Nightshade really didn't have anything to do. He kind of just, damn it. All right, you take it from here.
Do you want to edit that out?
No, no,
All right.
no. You're good. You're good. But
Nightshade.
Nightshade had like barely nothing to do after that episode. Like that was a cool episode for me. I like seeing Tarantulas. I like seeing how they interacted, kind of seeing like a legacy character with a brand new character idea, kind of like a bot of today, really, in like modern world.
Yeah,
But
and having
after that
tarantulas
episode,
come in.
I was like, where did Tarantulas or Nightshade go? Like, what happened? Like, nothing's happened. Then like episodes like, dude, where's my trailer? I'm like, do we really need this? I was like, this isn't like slapstick comedy type of, like it's not that show. Why are you trying to be like a nothing episode right now? Like, don't give me filler episodes. Like,
You got
you're a
much
Transformer
further.
show.
You got much further into season 2 than I did. Like, I saw what the season 1 or season 2 premiere, whatever one had after the
Hmm.
tow truck aftermath in it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this is fine, but I felt like they built up so much with Dr. Malto, and then or Dr. not Dr. Malto. That's the
Android guy.
yeah, Mandroid. Yeah, him. You see, this is again with Earthspark. I'm like, I want to like it, but there's nothing
Dr.
really
Walter.
memorable about it other than the
No.
animation is back up to like Transformers Prime standards.
The
But
animation was gorgeous. I love their animation. I love their kind of like blast like effects, electricity thing that they would do. But bold of you to assume I made it that far. I kind of just skipped ahead and picked that one at random. I didn't
I
even
gave
watch
up.
season two's premiere.
I gave up. I gave up after the first 2 episodes. I'm like, oh, there's a tow truck. Cool. What's keeping me in here? Another thing about Earthspark I don't like, and this might I don't think it's a big hot take, but I'll just say it anyway. It's my least favorite version of Optimus Prime ever. I really don't like him.
He's very like a very absent father, Optimus Prime in the show.
It's very corporate Optimus Prime. It's like, what if Optimus Prime was like a middle manager at a multinational corporation or like a government bureaucrat? It's like this is
Who gave
I
you
feel
finger guns in the break room?
yeah, it's like this is everything that Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon Optimus would have hated, like becoming a tool and a proxy of a foreign government. And like this version of Optimus Prime just does like the 2 thumbs up, like you were saying, finger guns in the bathroom, and then Megatron kind of doing the same thing. And I'm like, I get what they're going for here, and it gets made for kids, but there's no real reason to care other than a bunch of like expository dialogue and a couple of flashback clips. Like
Other
Megatron
than
being an
this
Autobot,
is
I'm cool
Optimus.
with that.
Hmm.
Right.
Me too. That was cool. This is the first time
But
that the mainstream audience was going to see that.
there's no reason to care beyond like,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, Megatron's an Autobot now. There's no like evolution of that version of the character where you see the progression. Versus an IDW, you get to see Megatron at his worst and then come to that realization over time. Versus with this, you start out with it. It's like, oh, it's Megatron's voice. You know, Megatron has a Scottish accent now. He's voiced by the same guy that played the Hound in Game of Thrones. Cool, but he's an Autobot, or at least like a non-violent Decepticon. And the Decepticons kind of feel rudderless and aimless, other than like it's a bunch of Seekers, and we see Skywarp and Novastorm over and over again, and then Starscream randomly shows up, and we'll have
And
like all
sometimes
these,
Swindle.
yeah, and Hardtop, and it's like the Decepticons are a joke. They have a couple of like random ones, like with Tarantulas, you were saying before. I like that portrayal of Tarantulas, and I like the idea of like a rogue agent Decepticon kind of being his own thing. But there's no real core group of Decepticons that are like scheming or with an overall plan. It's just like Starscream's doing his thing, and Starscream really doesn't like Megatron now. But there's no there. And the humans, it's like, okay, we get it. Like the Terrans are all now your family. That's fine. It's going to be like a more kid-centric series, doing things all together and like establishing family. That's fine.
Yeah,
But
that was fine.
even as like a kid, when I was watching like Armada or RD 2001 growing up, there was like a sense of like, okay, these are the Autobots. They're on a mission. They're on Earth for a reason. They're trying to find the Minicons. They're trying to find Dr. Onishi, or they're trying to find Energon, or with Transformers Animated, they're trying to find the fragments of the Allspark. With Transformers Prime, they're trying to find a way back on planet. There was a purpose. Like you understood, like each episode was kind of building up to something. Versus with this, like the war's over, the Decepticons are all scattered. There's no real reason for that to exist.
I feel like a sitcom.
It's just aimless. It felt like
Yeah.
a CGI like worse Seinfeld, but like so much worse.
Mhm. I I'm a big fan of. I mean, I'm a big Marvel boy, but I'm a big fan of what DC's kind of doing with their productions and kind of like, okay, we're gonna have shows, we're gonna have games, we're gonna have movies, we're gonna have this and that, but everything is gonna be like one universe. You know, even the animated stuff is gonna be part of this live action movie whenever we get to it. I feel like with Paramount, they're kind of just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing if it sticks. I feel like that's a good kind of approach to what they're doing now. Kind of like make it fit all in one universe. You want to do animated stuff, go for it. You want to make little like mini movies, or you want to do movies, you want to do comics, you want to do video games again. Kind of like blend all that together instead of making everything its own thing and trying to see which one lands. Because then you just get a overexhausted market of Transformers fans that don't want to do it. They don't want anything to do with it.
Isn't that what DC is doing anyway? Because they have
Yeah,
like the DCEU, which failed. Now they're restarting it with that new Superman Legacy movie, or if it's just called Superman, I forgot. Then they
I think
have
Superman.
the Matt Reeves
Mhm.
Batman universe, and then you have like the DC Elseworld stuff with Joker, and then the animated stuff's
Yeah.
its own thing. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And same thing with
Well,
Transformers. It's like, what the hell's going on here? Like, where's the, like you were saying, where is the common thread? Like, I should be able to watch a Transformers animated film and be like, okay, maybe that design isn't exactly the way that Optimus looks in Rise of the Beast or Bumblebee, but like the head design is the same and the proportions are roughly the same. And there's a lot of design elements that will transfer over from live action or like real life, quote unquote, CGI into a 2D or 3D animated film versus Optimus Prime looking like Jimmy Neutron, going to Optimus Prime that's like Michael Bay verse but more G1 to like Transformers 2007. And we're all supposed to buy that this is the same universe, and it's clearly not.
yeah, essentially just give us a brand new aligned continuity with somebody on top who knows what they want to do with it, not somebody who still trying to connect old and new and try to make it make sense and try to gaslight the fans.
This goes into another point as we go deeper into this topic that I don't think either one of us has brought up yet. And it's looking at the audience reception for a lot of these Transformers projects since the last night. At least from a movie standpoint, these movies aren't doing as well as they used to. And I think audiences were willing to tolerate, like, hey, with Revenge of the Fallen, it was able to, write off the success of the first movie. Every franchise is going to have a hiccup or so. Dark of the Moon, better than Revenge of the Fallen, but not quite the rebound they were looking for. Age of Extinction, okay, it's a third time around we're doing this thing. The jokes are getting creepier. Shia LaBeouf is no longer there. The statutory rape joke did not go over very well. Megatron is Galvatron now, but Galvatron is barely in the film. Lockdown's an uninteresting antagonist. And then the last night comes around. It's like, let's just have a movie about Transformers with Optimus Prime off the table for all but 15 minutes of the movie and, have weird Anthony Hopkins whoopee jokes. And like,
We hit the
it's just, I think whether it's the last night exclusively or just so many under-delivered Transformers movies as a finished product, The public's like, I don't really care if this thing was Transformers 1 and the critics did love it and the audiences did love it. The general public is not really sold on Transformers being, this big revolutionary property like Marvel. Marvel was able to get away with so many bad movies and failed projects because for such a long time they were delivering consistent, if a bit like cookie cutter and formulaic. The films were consistent and they were building up to a larger narrative before they really oversaturated it every year with like 5 different series, 5 different movies. Everything had to be read all together or watched all together. Versus with Transformers, yes, people might be buying it, they might be buying the toys for their kids. Yes, older fans might be buying the toys because they love the brand so much and they connect with like the more nostalgic elements of it. But as a franchise for the general public, this franchise is basically on life support. I'm hoping that Transformers does enough to break 100 million worldwide. I would really hope so, and I'm confident that it will before it's released on home media. But just the very stagnant way that this franchise has been going in a live action and theatrical capacity, it doesn't give me a lot of hope for the future. Or if there is going to be hope, like the sequels and the budgets that could be given to this on top of an upcoming G.I. Joe movie. It's like, what are we doing? There's no vision here. We're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it works.
And it's at the sacrifice of the Transformer movie too. The only reason I'm excited for that movie is just to see live action Optimus Prime again. But
honestly,
I know it's gonna tank. I know it's gonna tank all because they just want to reboot GI Joe again, and because of GI Joe, we're gonna fail.
We talked about this last time too, but I think there's a good way of doing GI Joe, even though there's a lot of like mixed reputation about having a war film, mostly because of like there not really being a clear good versus evil conflict in the way that there was in the 80s. You can chalk that up to the way that news is represented now. You can chalk that up to America's state in the world or whatever. But it's like with G.I. Joe, instead of being like the typical rah-rah military franchise, they really need to do a good job establishing it more of as like a counter-terrorism group or like a special forces group truly, instead of just like leading into like the generic military thing. And I don't know how they're going to introduce and like firmly establish GI Joe characters, assuming like Chris Hemsworth is going to be a live action Duke with Optimus Prime, and it being like, okay, let's not only introduce some more robots, let's introduce some more human characters. Let's just have real life, having action figures going into each other and making it big boom boom pew pew pow pow without it being like yet another Last Night, Age of Extinction, Dark of the Moon mess.
And like I'm all for what you said, toys mashing together and explosions in the back, but storytelling goes a long way. You give me the best CGI, best graphics, best everything, but if I'm not in love with the story, I'm gonna be like, why did I pay to go see that? Other than for nostalgic reasons.
Do you think Transformers needs to take a break? Dare I say that?
I maybe for its own good, they should, but movie wise only. I don't think I'll watch the stuff that's on TV when I can. I'll watch whatever media is out, but as in big blockbuster summer movies, I think it's for the best. Because if a movie like TF1 can't kind of like save the franchise, then I don't know what is. You've tried kind of rebooting the franchise. You've tried live action. That didn't work after, that whole like kind of hiatus of Transformer movies that we went through 5-6 years. And now trying something different and going back to animated, that not working. That's kind of like, I feel like they're out of ideas.
You're right. It pains me to
Or
say
at least
that.
good ones.
I just think at this point, other than like a prolonged hiatus and Hasbro really saying like, hey, this is a franchise that does its best in an animated or comic franchise or comic format. Cool it on the live action stuff. Go back to basics. Really get somebody who knows what they're talking about in a producer role or a serial director role, and have them like understand what the franchise is. Like it could be a Transformers movie that replicates Armada, or it could be a Transformers movie that replicates what they did in animated, or they can have something that's like Beast Wars Neo for all I care. But as long as they get the spirit of like making the audience care consistently about the characters and having a rich story, I think people will show up. Because when you had Rise of the Beast announced as a live action Beast Wars, I think a lot of people were expecting Rat Trap, Black Arachnia, Terrorsaur, Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, all like in a Beast Wars format. And you can have crossover with like some of the more G1 friendly characters, but I think the way that Rise of the Beast came out, it's not really Beast Wars if the only Predacon you have are just a bunch of Scorponok drones. It's not really Beast Wars if, you know, Unicron is involved along with these Terrorcons that, while they look cool, are some of the most like generic characters in Transformers. And same thing with like Bumblebee, for example. Much more stripped down film, much more 80s focused. As much as I don't want to see Transformers stuck in the 80s and 90s, like there's something to be said for a more like stripped down, back to basics approach of storytelling. And I think just complicating things further with like G.I. Joe, it's like, what's next? Is there going to be a My Little Pony movie? Is there going to be a crossover with Mask? Is there going to be, you know, a Monopoly or Battleship thing? Just because all Hasbro wants to do is like use Transformers as a springboard to launch their whole cinematic universe. It's just, there's a right way to do storytelling, and I don't think Transformers as a film franchise has made those consistently. They haven't been consistently hitting the mark since 2007. There have been elements that have worked, but whether it's just stylistic choices, whether it's a lack of vision, bad marketing, course correcting too late, it's just, to me, if they want to have a long-term plan to save the franchise, they just got to put it to sleep for a bit. Focus on other avenues, because theatrically, like you said, if Transformers 1 can't fix it, even being a critically praised movie, I'm hoping for a sequel. I really am.
I think they did confirm it, or I think rumored confirmed sequel. I don't know if they already like have invested too much into a sequel, but I mean, I feel like Transformers 1 was kind of got us back, like, you know, the fans, like it got me back, like I forgive you, it's okay, but you gotta like apologize to like the mass audience now. Then you have everybody back.
Yeah, if they're gonna do another live action film, they have got to really nail it. They've really just got to get Megatron, if not in a starring role, they need to put Megatron in a non-cameo capacity in the next film.
Yeah, they refused to use Megatron, and it pisses me off so much. Because nobody's going for Scourge. Nobody cares about Scourge. The main audience doesn't care about Unicron. Like, I think about Unicron, and I'm like, all right, yawn, like big yawn. Like, what is he gonna do? You know, I don't want to see Unicron. I don't care about any. Like, I don't care about anything other than you know what Transformers has been marketed as for the last 40 years in the franchise, as the Optimus versus Megatron conflict. And the main audience doesn't care about Unicron either, you know?
I was okay with Scourge, but I just didn't. I think as a design, looked awesome, but Peter Dinklage awkwardly, painfully delivering the lines, didn't buy it. Mark Strong, no, Mark something. The guy that voiced Lockdown, painful, awkward delivery of the lines. Quintessa, it's
just a check.
Exactly, just a check. I'm okay with other villains besides Megatron getting the spotlight and getting like the main antagonist treatment. Megatron being there, for as much as I didn't like Age of Extinction and Last Night, at least Megatron's presence was felt, and you could feel him like scheming from the sidelines. Maybe having Megatron not asking the government permission to use his Decepticons was not the smartest move.
Suicide Squad style.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm okay with another Transformer. Like I've said this before, Bludgeon or Tarn or
Straxus.
Straxus being the focus, but Megatron needs to be seen. He needs to be
Or
seen like
Starscream even.
yeah, just or Shockwave or whoever. Like
Yeah.
it's okay.
Some
You can be seen in planning from the sidelines or using your lieutenants as a way to like prepare for your arrival.
Yeah, Rise
But
of the Beast would have been perfect.
yeah, just like have Megatron, like give him, even if they only had like 20, 25 minutes of screen time as like a hologram, or like you only see him in the flesh for like a handful of scenes, that's fine. But like I need to feel the presence of Megatron.
Yeah, like what
Not
they did with Optimus and Bumblebee, giving us his hologram, giving us his cameo at the end and the end credits, like opening with that scene of Optimus mid battle. Give us that with Megatron. That would be dope. That would give me a reason to want to see more, be scared of him when he eventually comes up in the next movie or in a sequel. You know?
animated did it the best. How they would have Megatron, you were aware of his presence. He was like manipulating actions behind the scene. At that point, Megatron being in action and not being at the forefront of things wasn't quite a trope yet, but you felt him. Like you felt him like scheming. You felt him kind of being helpless. And by the time he actually does get his shit together and is reborn or reanimated or whatever, he's a threat. He's a big threat.
Yeah. Now you're like,
Versus
oh shit.
just in the movies, him kind of being reduced to a joke. How he has like he dies and he comes back and then he gets shot in the face and then he's a hobo truck and then Prime rips his spine out and then he becomes like the Tesla version of Galvatron and then he gets reformatted again into and then he gets reformatted
Yeah.
into like punk bitch Suicide Squad Megatron that has to ask
Oh,
the government for support. It's just
he's
like,
like, guys,
what are we
please
doing here? Uh,
get somebody who knows what they're doing, as bro.
get someone
Get
who
me and Paul.
cares.
We
Get
got a
someone.
lot of good ideas.
We know what to do wrong. We knew what not to do. I'm Paramount is the problem. They need to fire Lorenzo. They need to get someone who actually cares, and they just need to get a new company. They really need to go to like Universal, or does Universal own Paramount? I don't know. They need to go somewhere else. They just need to say like Paramount. It's been real. Peace. I don't care if they have to go to Disney at this point. I mean, they have
Yo,
the
I was
Marvel
gonna
toy
say,
license. Just like I don't care. Like just get. It doesn't have to be a point for point live action remake of G1. The designs don't have to be like ridiculously G1 like they are in the Nightverse for the most part. Like I just want good storytelling. The audience can forgive a lot if you make them care about the characters.
I've always thought. I mean, like what you just said. I've always wondered if Disney buying the licenses and the rights to Transformers would be a plus. I feel like Disney. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about Disney, but I don't really agree with a lot of things that Disney does and how they treat their characters as products. But with marketing and getting people to like want to watch their, you know, to what I think garbage movies sometimes, I feel like Disney could push Transformers to the forefront again and hope that they don't get the Star Wars treatment. But I feel
That's
like
valid.
they would at least have a plan and some sort of timeline and some sort of like release schedule that they would like to do things in.
I don't think treating your franchises as product is a unique to Disney thing. It's better than what Paramount's done, where they've treated Transformers as literally trash and haven't known what to do with the property in God knows how long. Um, Robert Kirkman has his hands busy with the Energon universe, but I'm still just like, that dude, whether you like The Walking Dead or Invincible or Oblivion Song or any of his other independent Image comics, or if you like the way the Energon universe is going, like that he's the steward behind that. And there's a lot of things I can say about Disney as well. I haven't been particularly a big fan of the way they've been treating Star Wars. The only good sequel in my mind is The Last Jedi because at least tried to do something different. There was a lot of stuff in that movie that I didn't like, but it was the only movie of the sequel trilogy that like really tried to do something different and wasn't just a complete like, number one, fan service at every corner and dropping Easter eggs all the time, which I hate. I hate that way of storytelling so much. But it tried to. But I'm also just not a fan of like over reliance on nostalgia, and I know a lot of the G1 crowd likes that. But it's like at this point, if I wanted to see, a Plague of Insecticons or Dinobot Island or Triple Takeover, I would just watch those episodes, and those episodes are still fun to watch. But I want an acknowledgement of the past and a respect and reverence for the past, but also introducing something new by people that know and understand how these characters tick, and is also at the end of the day going to get butts in the seats, and because it's going to get people to keep going over and over again to invest in this franchise. Whether Disney's the one to do that or not, Hasbro already has a partnership with licensing agreements with Disney. They have that with Star Wars. They have that with Marvel. I'm not sure that wouldn't be like the biggest hurdle to overcome. But with Paramount, at least in my opinion, the writing's been on the wall for a while. I'm not overly enthused about the direction that the movies are going in. I like Transformers 1. They did say that a sequel would be coming depending on how well Transformers 1 did. I'm not sure what that means in regards to like critical reception or box office or whatever that would go. As I said, I'd be in support of it, but I think in the long term, Hasbro really needs to be saying we need to look elsewhere, because Paramount, you've had 17 years to get a franchise off the ground, and I don't think it's working. Whatever they're doing, marketing, direction, writing, continuity, reboot,
It's
just
the
a
perfect
lot of
storm.
it's a shitstorm. It really is. It's like the world's shittiest
It's the
movie.
perfect shitstorm.
Yeah. It's a chunky, gross, expired, left out in the sun too long smoothie.
A little too far there, but I mean, we could only do our part in our silly little Transformer podcast, but plastic robots to try to like bring awareness to this.
True.
If
This has
you
been
have
quite a
not seen
long
the movie,
silly
please
podcast,
watch
too.
the movie. Yeah, I don't even know how long we've been going for. Yeah.
Hour 12.
That's right. It's not the longest, but go watch the movie if you haven't seen the movie. It is a great movie. I'm probably gonna watch it again this week. I already got a popcorn bucket too.
Oh, nice. Which one did you get?
I got the one that lights up. But
It's a light up
he
one?
kind of like, yeah, he kind of catfished me though, because the guy at the thing, me and my friend were going in, and then I was like, "Hey, do you have any Transformers merch?" And he was like, "Yeah, we got a cup and we got a bucket." And I was like, "Give me the bucket." And like I was already a little tipsy. I had pre-game, so I was like, "Give me the bucket." And he brings out the bucket, and it's like the one that has uh, Optimus, Bumblebee, Megatron, and Alita on each side, and it lights up. And then I look at it, I'm like, damn, my card is already charged. And I was like, oh, well.
Damn.
So I got stuck with the popcorn bucket now. And when I probably should have gotten the cup, but, oh well. Now I got two Transformer popcorn buckets. The Rise of the Beast one is my favorite one, though. It's that big one with the trailer. You can put the popcorn in the trailer, and your
That one
drink
was
goes in the
pretty cool.
cab. Yeah, the smokestacks are like the straws. It's so cool, though. I love it.
Oh, wait, the smokestacks with the straws. I didn't know about that. I just thought it was the trailer.
Yeah. No. The trailer's the popcorn, and the cab is like the drink section. You could either pour your drink in there, or you could just put your drink in the cab.
Oy. That's a
That's
lot.
permanently on my. It's huge, bro. It's ginormous.
I know.
It was like
I
50
remember
bucks.
seeing that. It's huge. It was like a $50 like giant. Was it plastic or was it like aluminum? What is it?
So the cab is made out of plastic. It's got like good wheels on it. It's got like metal, like aluminum wheels with like rubber tires, and the trailer is like aluminum. It's like a metal.
Do the wheels move?
Yeah. You can roll this thing for days.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so it actually has quality to it. That's nice.
Yeah.
Justifies that.
And I had to
price
go
point.
back for the smokestacks because they didn't give it to me the first time. I just grabbed regular straws, and then I went back. I was like, "Yo, I need my straws." And I brought it with me the next day to prove that I had it. They're like, "Okay, here you go." And they just gave me a bunch of smokestacks.
Nice.
This is the popcorn podcast, the Optimus Prime trailer podcast now. But Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to add to that.
No, I was gonna wrap it up there. Lots of thoughts on Paramount. None of them are particularly good. I think a lot of the audience listening here probably feels similarly that if Paramount doesn't get their shit together, they really need to look elsewhere. Just it's the future looks kind of bleak, to be honest. I'm hoping for a Transformers One sequel where they can explore like the rest of the whole origin story before they come to Earth, or at least like a little bit of a time leap in the future. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as live action, would I like a Rise of the Beast sequel? Sure, but just GI Joe, no. Just I'm sorry, leave it out. Nobody wants that right now. It's the wrong
Mm-hmm.
time. Just wait until the political climate's a little bit more stable and we're not possibly facing World War III. Beyond that, just reset. Just take a break, take a breather. We'll see where it goes. But with that, I think we're gonna wrap there. Danny, do you have any last thoughts for the people?
No, it's a go watch Transformers One if you haven't seen it. It's a great movie. Not gonna regret it. You know, go with your friends, tell your friends about it. I've told mine about it. We've gone a couple times already. They liked it as casual, moviegoers. So, it says a lot for people like us who are big fans. You're gonna love this movie.
Right on. All right, guys. Till next time. Till R1.
See you guys.